Thank you for purchasing our theater model popcorn popper. You've made the wisest of business decision, and we're sure you'll be satisfied. Your theater model popcorn machine will arrive fully crated. Carefully uncrate the popper, thoroughly inspect it, and report any damage immediately to the transportation company. Gold Metal is not responsible for damage that may occur in transit. After uncrating the machine, open the doors of the base. Before installing your machine, open the corn drawer and thoroughly read the instruction manual located in the base inside of the corn drawer. And make sure all personnel are instructed on the safety, operation, and cleaning procedures for this equipment. Remove the accessory pack, light bulbs, and parts manual. The accessory pack includes a perforated jet scoop, corn measure, salt measure, flavocol container, spare oil line, and tube brush. Next, open the popper doors and reverse the doorknobs. The popper is shipped with the knobs facing the inside of the popper to prevent any damage to the doors. Screw in both light bulbs, making sure not to over-tighten. In the bottom of the base, you will find two power cords. The smaller cord is the oil pump harness. The large cord is the main power supply cord for the wall outlet. Once you have done so, use one of the 3 exit holes to route the power supply cord out of the base. Then plug the machine into the appropriate outlet. See instruction manual for proper power requirements. Have a licensed electrician install the wall receptacle and check the power supply to ensure that the correct voltage and amperage have been supplied to your machine. Reinstall the bag-in-the-box pump back into the popper base. Place the 35-pound boxes of oil onto the shelves with the nozzles facing forward. One box will be used while the other box is being kept warm. Pull the bag nozzle out of the box and remove the plastic dust cap. Connect the bag-in-the-box connector to the bag nozzle by sliding it onto the bag nozzle. Then pressing firmly on the center of the connector as shown. Follow this chart for using a daisy chain connection. To supply power to the oil pump, turn on the oil system master switch to the on position. The oil pump is equipped with an easy set timer. Before setting the oil, you will need to first prime the oil system. To do so, remove the oil funnel on the top of the kettle. Hold a cup under the oil line, then press the red dispense button. Once oil begins to flow, turn off the oil system master switch. Wait at least 1 minute before continuing on to the programming section. To put the pump into program mode, hold in the red dispense button while turning on the oil system master switch. Continue to hold the red dispense button for 5 seconds and the green indicator light will begin to flash. This indicates the pump is now in program mode. Place a measuring cup under the spout, then press and release the red dispense button to start the flow of oil. For 32-ounce poppers, the oil charge should be 10 to 11 ounces. Just before the oil reaches the desired amount, press and release the red dispense button again to stop the flow of oil. If you fall short of the desired amount, the red button can be toggled until the desired amount is reached. Once you have gotten the correct amount of oil, turn the master switch off, then back on to save the setting. Reinstall the oil funnel and the oil system is now ready for operation. If the oil system master switch is on, the red oil pump switch will dispense the preset amount of oil into the kettle. The oil master switch supplies power to the oil system but will not dispense unless the red oil pump switch is pressed. Now, let's move on to the operation of the machine. Open the corn drawer and fill with seed. Then fill the salt container with 1 carton of salt. The light switch turns on the interior cabinet lights as well as the popcorn light on the dome. The warmer switch supplies power to the crisp and dry popcorn freshening system in the bottom of the popper. The kettle motor switch turns on the agitator motor as well as the exhaust fan in the roof of the popper. And last but not least, the kettle heat switch activates the popping kettle by supplying power to the Big Eye electronic temperature control system. Fill the corn measure level to the top of the cup. Pour in 1 level scoop of gold medal Flavacol. Do not load corn and oil until the alarm sounds and the load dump indicator light illuminates. When the audible alarm sounds and the load dump indicator light illuminates, open the kettle lid. Always add the corn and Flavacol first, then press and release the red dispense button to add the oil. If you're making sweet popcorn, fill the container with kernels even with the rim and 16 ounces of glaze pop. Turn the salt sweet switch to sweet and turn on the oil master kettle and motor switches. Wait for the audio alarm and indicator light and pour the kernels into the kettle. Do not use Flavacol in this process. Press the oil dispense button. After waiting a few seconds, slowly pour the glaze pop into the kettle. As the popping begins to slow, dump the popcorn immediately to lessen the amount of smoke and carbon buildup. If done popping, leave the kettle motor on while the kettle cools to keep the stir rod free from any sugar residue. Gold medal theater model poppers are equipped with an electronically controlled kettle that ensures consistent popping performance batch after batch. When the light comes on and buzzer sounds, it is signaling the operator to either load the kettle, dump the kettle, or turn the kettle heat off. When the batch is complete, the machine will beep again, signaling to dump the kettle. Repeat this process until the desired amount of popcorn has been popped. Remember to always leave the popper doors open when popping corn. On the last batch, turn the kettle heat off when the popcorn starts to raise the front lid of the kettle. This will reduce the amount of smoke emitted from the kettle when finished popping. Leave the motor running for a few minutes after finished popping to help exhaust any remaining steam. Allow the kettle to cool down for at least 1 hour before attempting to clean. To clean the kettle, simply tilt the kettle while lifting the clean in place latch. This will safely enable you to clean the kettle without removing it from the machine. Do not use ice or water to cool down a hot kettle. Severe kettle damage will result. Always keep water away from the kettle core. Next, remove the rear lid by pressing in firmly where the tabs go into the kettle crossbar. Once the rear lid is removed, a damp rag may once again be used to wipe off excess oil from the remainder of the kettle, then reinstall the rear lid. For tough stains, an outside kettle cleaner may be used for the exterior kettle surfaces. An interior kettle cleaner, such as Heat and Clean, should be used at least once a week to keep the inside of the kettle clean. To clean the plexiglass doors, make sure to use a cleaner that does not contain ammonia. All other cabinet and glass surfaces can be cleaned using a food-grade concession cleaner. The 3-stage filter system is located in the roof of the machine. The first stage metal mesh filter should be cleaned daily and can be pulled out for cleaning without removing the filter cover. The other filters should be cleaned weekly. All 3 filters should be washed in warm, soapy water. Simply unscrew the 2 knobs and remove the filter cover. Pull down on the bail handle of the 3rd stage metal mesh filter. This filter should be cleaned once a week. Next, remove the 2nd stage oil mist filter. This filter should also be cleaned once a week. Allow the filters to dry overnight before reinstalling. All 3 filters can be purchased under one item number. The part number for the filter pack is 82015. At the end of the day, remove the popcorn from the cabinet and wipe any excess popcorn residue into the holes in the corn pan. Remove the Lexan drop panel for cleaning. Next, lift up the corn pan, which can also be removed for cleaning. Vacuum any loose popcorn remnants. Slide the crumb drawer out, place it under the hole in the cabinet, and wipe any remaining popcorn crumbs onto the crumb pan. The warmer motor cover has a filter screen that should be removed and cleaned on a weekly basis. Simply remove, wash in warm soapy water, and allow it to air dry before reinstalling. On a monthly basis, we recommend checking the following preventative maintenance items to ensure the proper popper performance. Check to make sure the shock absorber pin located on the back side of the hanger arm is in place, as well as in good condition, and replace if necessary. Check to make sure the needle bearing on the top of the agitator turns freely. Check for proper spur gear engagement. Check for excessive bushing play in the agitator shaft. Make sure both split collars are present on the kettle shell. Then check for excessive play on the kettle arms by tilting the kettle and pushing front to back. Look inside the kettle and make sure the stir rod is within 1/8 of an inch of the kettle cooking surface. If any of the above checklist items fail, contact your local service provider. Once again, thank you for purchasing a Gold Medal Theater Model Popper. Should you have any comments or questions, please feel free to call, fax, or email. Here is a handy checklist of preventative maintenance functions to keep your popper running efficiently and safely. Check for the proper 30% ratio of oil volume. See your manual for any adjustments. Make sure that all hose clamps are tight. Make sure the needle bearing on the top of the kettle moves freely. Check for proper spur gear and needle bearing to gear block engagement. Check for excessive play in the crossbar bushing. Make sure 2 split collars are present on the kettle shell. Tilt the kettle to a 45-degree angle and check for excessive play forward and backwards. Make sure the stir rod on the bottom of the kettle is within 1/8 of an inch above the cooking surface. If not, make the correct adjustment. Remove the warmer covers and vacuum out any excess popcorn crumbs. Here are helpful hints for the popper and what to check for. For additional expertise, please contact us at 513-769-7676. If your pop cycle is longer than 4 minutes, it can be the result of several things. Operating on low voltage, inadequately sized electrical supply lines. This could cause the kettle to not reach the proper temperature. Use only top quality popcorn for the best results. If the kettle does not heat, make sure the lead-in cord is plugged in and the kettle shunt trip breaker is not tripped. Check the voltage to and from the kettle heat switch. If it is defective, replace it. A defective thermocouple lead will cause the kettle not to heat. Check for good connections from the kettle to the control. If the kettle agitator shaft is not rotating, do not pop popcorn. Adjust the clearance between the kettle bottom and the stir blade to 1/32 of an inch. Loosen the set screw in the collars above and below the crossbar and adjust the agitator shaft. Then, retighten the set screws in the collar. If the pump is operating but oil is not dispensing, the oil may be solid in the oil lines. Once again, thank you for purchasing a Gold Medal Theater Model Popper. Should you have any comments or questions, please feel free to call, fax, or email.